Across the globe, foreign leaders reached out to President-elect Joe Biden, offering their congratulations. But one leader who did not, Russia's Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin says that they will wait for the official results. And that's a far different approach than their actions 4 years ago when President Trump won his election. But 4 years after Russia tried to influence our election, U.S. Russia relations remain strained. The arrest of at least 2 former U.S. service members, including Paul Whelan, who spoke with us tonight, have only made matters worse. Patrick Reevell has this report.
For almost 2 years, we've heard little from Paul Whelan, the former U.S. Marine held in Russia as a spy, but whose family and U.S. officials say was a tourist grabbed as a political hostage. Kept in pretrial detention in Moscow for 18 months, Whelan's trial was held almost entirely behind closed doors.
This is simply a dog and pony show for the media. They're not doing anything at all.
In June, Whelan was sentenced to 16 years in a prison camp. Journalists only able to grab snatched comments from him.
Paul, I'm from ABC News. Do you want to say something?
I don't think they want me to say anything.
Now settled there, for the first time, ABC has spoken with Whelan from the camp. The first time a journalist has been able to talk extensively with him.
The place is very, very old. It's very grim, quite dilapidated, but we're in, barracks. There's probably 50 to 60 of us in the building, so we kind of live on top of each other. It's quite crowded.
The camp is a former gulag in Mordovia, located about 300 miles from Moscow. Like other inmates, Whelan works 8 hours a day making clothes.
They've actually been quite welcoming. They all laughed when I got here and said if the FSB had sent someone to my hotel room, it was obviously a trap.
He says he was in Moscow for a friend's wedding when he was detained by Russian intelligence.
I mean, the whole thing was just like you see it on TV, with the black masks. They had a guy videotaping it. First, I wasn't sure if it was real or not. I didn't know if friends of mine would have set up a gag or not. It obviously became, quite real.
The FSB accused Whelan of receiving a flash drive with classified material on it. Whelan says he was framed by his longtime Russian friend, who he accuses of collaborating with the FSB to set him up.
On the day in question, he came over unannounced. I'm taking a shower, trying to get ready to go to this wedding dinner. And, 10 minutes after he gets there, his friends come through the door and say I'm a spy.
Since Whelan's arrest, a second ex-Marine, 26-year-old Trevor Reed, was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian jail in another dubious trial. American officials have said they believe Russia would like to trade Whelan and Reed for Russians held in the U.S.
So what we're seeing with Mr. Whelan and with others that have been detained without probable cause in Russia is a negotiating tool. These are pawns. These people are caught up in the tit-for-tat between the two intelligence services, and unfortunately somebody has to pay the price.
Russian officials have floated the idea of a trade for 2 men in particular. Victor Bout, an arms dealer serving a 25-year sentence in the U.S. on a terrorism charge, and Konstantin Yaroshenko, a pilot convicted of drug smuggling.
The night I was arrested, they asked me if I knew who those 2 people were.
The jailed Americans' cases underline the challenges that President-elect Joe Biden will face in dealing with Russia. Vladimir Putin has still yet to congratulate Biden days after the election was called by the U.S. media.
The relationship between the U.S. and Russia will always vary between cold and colder. It's in Mr. Putin's interest to keep tensions high with the U.S. because it builds domestic political favor, and it also keeps the people distracted from the kinds of things that are going on in Russia.
During a town hall meeting, the president-elect vowed to maintain a tough stance on Russia.
Attempting to interfere with our election is a violation of our sovereignty. And if it's done again, which it appears to be being done, there'll be a price to pay. There'll be a price to pay. And Putin knows the reason he doesn't want me as president. He knows me, and he knows I mean it. I don't mean war, but they'll pay a price.
But to get home, these veterans need at least a crack in the ice in Russian relations. Whelan's family tells us there are currently no negotiations underway for his release. A new presidency could be a moment that makes that easier. But the silence from the Kremlin on Biden's election is not a promising sign for future relations. Patrick Reevell in Moscow for ABC News Live.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.